Hey guys, welcome back to Gamer Nerds. I'm Voice. I'll be subbing in for Sid and Kalina. I know you guys want to see the girls, but you're stuck with me. I'm sorry. In this episode, we'll be talking about Splinter Cell Conviction, which was released for PC and 360. In this next chapter of the Splinter Cell series, we once again don the shoes of Sam Fisher, this time on the outside of Third Echelon, seeking revenge on those responsible for the death of his daughter. But that's enough for me, well, for now, so let's see what Things and I have to say. Let's get into the story of Splinter Cell Conviction. The first thing you know about Splinter Cell Conviction is that unlike the past games that were kind of dry, they're just Tom Clancy type, novels brought to games in some cases.
Tom Clancy is written by Tom.
Yeah.
Okay, not written by Tom Clancy,
but inspired by Tom Clancy. But this time around, you get more into the life of Sam Fisher, more into the personal life of Sam Fisher. The last game, his daughter was killed. Now he's on the hunt for the people responsible, and the Sam Fisher we once knew is no longer around because he's now Kratos-ish, killing everyone in sight. So we learn about Sam Fisher and how much of a jackass he's become, and honestly, I kind of like it. I like the new direction. It's completely different.
I'll say right now that the last Splinter Cell game I played was Pandora Tomorrow for the Xbox. There's a lot of major events that happened in that game that I wasn't aware of. I found out that Lambert was dead. He had a daughter that was apparently killed. This is the game that reveals a lot of things that did happen behind the scenes in Double Agent. The focus of the story is much more personal. This is a Tom Clancy game after all, so there's tons of espionage, people trying to blow up, in this case, Washington, D.C. Even Dick Cheney's in this game reprising his role as he does in real life as a jackass. The story gets a little bit out of hand. We're basically rebelling against Third Echelon. I just got very confused by who was the bad guy at the end.
It gets a little convoluted. Whatever happened to Sam Fisher's daughter, which we're not going to talk about. The reasons behind their actions, to why they did what they did in the first place, make absolutely no sense.
If you played the pre-Splinter Cell games, there's always going to be some sort of plot twist, that does come out right out of left field. When you do finally figure out what has actually happened, basically the cause, all the damage done in Double Agent, came out of left field. I was actually surprised by that. And then the game goes on the crazy tangent, and Reed and Coben and I don't even know.
In the past games, Sam Fisher obviously is working for Third Echelon. And then in this game, out of nowhere, he's killing everyone.
No. I'm not surprised by the tone that the game takes. Sam is basically a killing machine, and I think it sticks true to the character.
I don't really think so. Sure, we find out whatever Third Echelon's up to, but it's not necessarily everyone in Third Echelon. The people that he trained are kind of oblivious to what happened, and he's still killing them.
Yeah, but they're being sent after him.
Yeah, but still, man. The story in Splinter Cell Conviction is a bit more, deeper than the past stories, and I actually, like that. Just kind of wish it wasn't so convoluted. But anyway, the story's pretty good, so good stuff.
The story's okay. As I mentioned before, the last Splinter Cell game I played was the Pandora Tomorrow. When I first started playing Splinter Cell Conviction, it was very different. This game was supposed to come out in 2007. It went through a lot of revisions. The main engine changed, and the final game is completely different from any Splinter Cell before. First thing you'll notice, the screen itself, there's one small HUD in the bottom corner. No more light meters, no more complex things to follow. They did a really fantastic job of simplifying things and keeping the pace of the game up. When you're hidden, the screen goes black and white, which is fantastic. I don't want any super more light meter. Cover system is done very well in this, so you simply press the left trigger, press A to jump to cover, and then you can select the next cover. Another major addition, after playing through the game, this kind of is a good and bad thing for me, is the mark and execute system. Sam Fisher, is a trained killing machine through Third Echelon. If you pull someone off a ledge, do death from above, kill them a certain way, you get the ability to mark targets with your gun, and there's a multitude of weapons to choose from. Once you've marked a target, you can kill them instantly, headshot, through a wall, behind the back. It's cool, keeps the pace of the game up. It does make it very, very easy though.
What I don't like about the, mark executes, whatever you call it, whatever, I just don't like the fact that it's how you build it, that you have to beat someone down. I don't get how that relates to really anything. I guess it's a cool game mechanic, but it doesn't make any sense. If I slap you right now, did I stop the game that builds you precise shoot a person from a mile away? I don't think so. What's new to the gameplay is actually how you learn about your objectives. It's pretty much, written, on the
projected
walls.
Very, very cool mechanic.
The only thing I didn't like about that is the fact that, if you're not looking in that direction, you might actually miss where it is.
Interrogations. Basically, you get locked in an area with a bunch of cool things. Sam, does what he does best, like introducing this guy's face to the toilet bowl, using the American flag in a really cool way. I didn't know you could do that.
Or frying someone's face. That was my personal favorite.
What Ubisoft has done here is sped everything up. My problem with all this is that I didn't feel like I was actually doing anything.
This game, like you said, is sped up.
So on action.
A little too much, actually, I find. Most of the gadgets you actually get in this game are of the explosive nature, remote mines. Once you get them, that's all you're using. If you're used to sneaking around like the last few games.
I was shooting out lights and I realized that I didn't have to do that.
What's the point? The second I kind of got up and started shooting without sneaking out, I was like, wait a second, I don't have to sneak. What am I doing?
There's like basically a built-in RPG system. So if you pull someone off a ledge a certain amount of times, you avoid detection from your last hit position. They reward you. You can use this to upgrade weapons, and this is another problem I have with the game. There's all these cool weapons, shotguns, rifles. The only thing you need, the only thing I used was your silence pistol.
Yeah.
Why would you want an AK-47 to attract attention? Another thing that comes in later is trademark goggles. You can abuse them. Again, I like the game. It's just too easy. I mean, I beat this whole title on the hard mode in maybe 7 hours.
The gameplay is, it's pretty good. The problem with this game was just balance. I don't think it was balanced enough. You have all these cool gadgets, but some make it easy. Other than that, good stuff.
Awesome.
Let's get into the AV, that's the way the game looks and sounds. From, a graphical point of view, I can't say it's that amazing. He loves it. I remember saying to him, I remember texting him saying like, oh, it doesn't look that great, but he thinks it's a good looking game. It is pretty detailed, environments are pretty lush. Sam Fisher, he's supposed to be older, and yet he looks like he's 30 something. He looks super young, and like,
he's gray, grizzled, old,
No, he's like gray, grizzled,
angry,
but like, young looking. And he actually looks a little different. I actually did not recognize him in the beginning. I was like, is that Sam?
Whatever. Forget Double Agent. They redid the engine here. It's a very pretty looking game. There's more people. They don't actually do anything. You are jumping from, different environments. You start off in I think a European city, I forgot the name, back to the good old USA, third echelon headquarters, even down to Washington, D.C. The environments are varied. There are even some levels that take place during the day. And there's a very, very out of place Iraqi level. Basically, it's a flashback. None of the gameplay elements survive in this one level. It's pure action, very strange, but cool nonetheless. The visuals, they're good. The frame rate's locked 30 frames per second. There's some cool graphical tricks, specifically with your trademark goggles, which I mentioned before. It's a great looking game, not a fantastic looking game, but good job nonetheless.
I'm actually not a fan, although like the whole black and white filter they use when you're hidden is better than the whole green overglow from the last few games. You saw too much of that black and white. It's kind of sad because this game is pretty colorful, and I kind of wanted to see that more often.
Most of the time you're in the dark.
Yeah, but that's
and some corner of an alley under a reservoir.
Yeah, I would rather see a light flickering
a desolated
in yellow
city,
than in black and white.
I mean, the whatever he said, ignore it. The tone, the environment, the colors, regardless if it goes black and white, suits the game. This is a Ubisoft title with all major titles. There's a lot of effort put into the audio departments. Michael Ironside, with again the most coolest voice I've ever heard, reprises his role as Sam Fisher. Generally, the dialogue is deployed very, realistically and believable. If you've never played Splinter Cell before, you may get lost in the lingo. There's literally no build up to the story. You're in it, and it's assumed you know all the stuff before and the people before. The audio comes together really well. This is a 360 title exclusively. It makes really good use of surround sound. You definitely want to play it in the dark with the surround.
Alright, so let's get into the content. The story mode, different difficulty settings. Within the story mode, an upgrade system for your weapons. Not that great because, you pretty much don't really need to upgrade anything. Beyond that, next main big thing in the game would actually be the multiplayer.
You may be jumping into multiplayer really quickly because the story is really, really short. I played on realistic 7 hours. You play on normal mode, you could probably beat it in 5 or less. Despite the fact there's no spies versus mercs, you have a multiplayer co-op mode here with 2 individual Splinter Cells. Basically, they're playing a different story that lead up to the events of Splinter Cell Conviction. It's actually some of the best gameplay right there.
Because the way you would play Splinter Cell would be different from a friend. Some people play more sneaky, some would just run in and gun. So when you play, especially with someone that you don't really know, it's kind of like always interesting to see how they're gonna play it. They did remove the spy versus merc, which did make me a little sad at first, but then I remember playing the one in Double Agent and saying, what the f was this So I'm kind of happy they took it out.
On top of that, you have Defend the EMP. There's kind of like a horde mode, akin to Gears of War and stuff, standard multiplayer. Ubisoft has just revealed that there's new DLC coming with new missions, new competitive modes. It is a very short game. The multiplayer is going to keep it. I don't know if there's going to be a community later on, but we'll see down the line.
You purchased this time around the normal edition. You guys who watch the show know that he's always making fun of me for not buying the special edition. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It looks like I bought it. I have the special edition, which comes with a bunch of cool stuff. Actually, you know what? I didn't actually even look into it. You probably know more about it anyway. So I will let you diss me.
So right now, you get the regular game and art book. Funnily enough, there was a really cool USB stick that was supposed to ship with all the games. Lo and behold, every single one was defective. So you could actually buy the collector's edition of Splinter Cell Conviction. Same price as the good old regular version, which is why I bought it.
I don't know, I still have this one and you don't, so I look cooler this time around. It actually does come, well, both games anyway, come with the, I guess the code for the Ghost Recon Future Soldier beta.
Splinter Cell Conviction is a good game, not a fantastic game by any means, but let's erase the memory of Double Agent and, a new lease on life for Tom Clancy, Sam Fisher, and the Splinter Cell series.
And I have the special edition.
Which you're holding the right way.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to leave your comments and feedback below, and please subscribe. We'll see you next time on Gamer Nerds. It honestly, I was gonna say something I completely forgot, and I look like I'm still talking like it's serious what I'm saying right now. What the am I gonna say?